Well. Paper, right up the people. That's never what you expect. Absolutely not. You know, sometimes you think it's gonna be all normal, pretty expected. Alas, not so much. Nuh-uh. Remove the paper people sign. We've got something possibly even more unexpected. We finally have a train. It's so rewarding to finally be able to have a goofy little basil train. There's so much to go still. Alas, we now have a train. At least the start of a train. If you think I'm not going to just like add a bunch of glitter and stuff, etc. to the train and make it very neon cut, oh boy. Expect something far beyond expectation. Let me pull up caption land, because that is what is missing from here. What has the captions? Wait, the radio. Radio? 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 Yep, I don't know what it is. Wait. Nope, I am not good for that. Alright, we're just gonna bring in the good old captions. Plain and simple, just a very captiony. I can just add it manually. I was going to use the automaton. Alas, it was automa dead. It seems it did not get turned on. Or turned off, rather, last time. It was a shame. Rest in peace, batteries. We will get you new batteries, automaton. For now, I think it's time that we take the paper off. I hit the wrong button. Paper. Paper, please. Paper, please. Oh, I turned the tank off. Okay, well, maybe it helps if you hit the thing called Paper Face. That's right. Alright, Tamagotchi fans, you gotta move, sir. You're in the way of my tank. You gotta, like, fit on top of the tank type area. There you go, bud. Alright. Yeah, so the paper factory might have had an OSHA violation. So we're now stuck in a tank. It happens. It's not always easy being the paper person. But sometimes you gotta let the other brain think and make things work out. So, now that we have finally realized the dangers in paper, gotta be careful with paper. You'll get nasty paper cuts. It's time to roll up our paper sleeves and bring about more papery greatness. So, if this is ordered correctly, it's not, but it's going to be. Boom! Oh, wake up! Alright. Here was the OG paper friends. I mean, they're a little frumply, but this was just the first one. I realized I had the wrong color palettes, etc. Look, I had a stand just to hold it. That's what stream decks are for, right? Alright, sit over there, bud. But now, we have a bird. Boom. We got bird. We've got Paper Person 2.0. And then I had seen a little while back that good old Crony was not, or supposedly had not gotten a holiday gift thing before. So I was like, you know what? I thought it'd be really fun to make a paper crony. So I did, and it's adorable, and I'm really excited to show them. Alright, paper crony, stay over there for now. Alright. Cards and worms, get over there. Okay, so, main thing is, let's make bird, because we've never actually seen what bird looks like yet. So, how the paper people work is you've got the little... How dare you telling me? There we go. You got the little paper spots. So, I put on essentially like buttons in the designs, so that way you know how to line things up. I didn't add them for the feet, but the bird can have the feet underlaid. So you're either putting the designs on top of the body piece or behind. And alas, you just kind of wing it for the head because, lo and behold, birds like to bobble their heads. So, for our first, let's move the Tamagotchi. Tamagotchi. You can sit over here, bud. Don't worry, everyone will take care of you. It's gonna be all good. You'll be just fine, won't you? That's right. Don't worry, chat will remember to feed you. They should. And if not, I will feed you first. Boop. Feed? Or was it count? I don't remember. There we go. Oh. I always forgot to fix that. Alright, so we're gonna start by cutting up birds to make the bird really, really shiny. Now, if you want to do like really nice paper for it, I would recommend using a cardstock. I know most people won't necessarily have cardstock, so this is why I went with good old-fashioned printer paper. Because that's accurate to what most people would probably use. And it's finally time that we get to design more paper people. Now we have the start of a paper people factory. We can slowly upgrade the factory to increase production, make the factory less glitterous waste, and just a general boppity vibe. A general old boppity vibe. The main thing is you want to try and balance it so it's not too finicky to cut out. And I, for one, have never been a big fan of cutting paper. I would rather sit for hours and like use a little craft knife to cut paper than scissors most of the time. And today is especially rough. I just don't have the coordination. Body not having it. And I'm like, well, we're gonna do it anyways. So you just gotta forgive the inaccurate cutouts. I have improved significantly over the years. Even in high school, I was just like, teacher, can you cut out this like basic shape for me? And they looked at me and they're like, oh, what? I'm like, you don't understand. I'm really bad with scissors. And honestly, that still stands a little bit today. Because I can do alright cutting stuff with scissors. The issue lies in the fact that I was taught how to use scissors, but I'm left-handed. So I was taught to use scissors with my right hand. And that just don't work. Because the issue is, I then became able to use scissors, like, for certain things, right-handed. And then for other times, I will actually flip it over to being left-handed again. For like precise slow cutting type stuff, I usually do most cutting right-handed. But there's certain times, like a spiral or something, like it's infinitely better if I just use my left hand. It's just like super smooth, flowing lines and curves. Wonderful. And that's the way the cookie grumblumbles. But you never know which way the cookie will grumblumble. Unless the cookie grumblumblumps. Why am I talking about cookies? It was a slow go yesterday, but after 6 months of battling it out to figure out something like that train, I'm so happy it's finally worked out. It might just be one step of the problems on the list of things to find resolutions for, but still, that was such a hurdle. In order to get that train to be the most magnificent and background-free train as could be, it was literally just, I have to export it in a different codec than I usually use. And that allows the transparency. So it's like, wow, that's great. And then it's just now going back to kind of the base issues of, I'm not using most of the software I have correctly. I basically use, like, part of Procreate Dreams to do video animation with combination elements. And then for all the actual, like, drawn animation, I do it in the base Procreate. So, part of why the other day, a bunch of stuff was just, like, inexplicably missing on stream. I was just like, I was wondering why it said those files were gone. Yeah, it was an incident with a train. I essentially had to port over everything frame by frame into, like, normal Procreate for drawing. And I then just kind of, like, pick an arbitrary number, like 20, because that's around the 24 frames per second that it was base at. And I just, like, would go every 20 frames in, like, this over 500 frames for, like, 20 seconds or less type thing of footage. And I would just go every 20 frames and then add in that frame manually. And then I would pair all of those up with, like, a digital drawing that I would keyframe to sort of move with the frames from the video. It's a bloody nightmare. This is like the same issue that happened with the melting witch. I don't even think I actually properly showed it on stream. But essentially, I was like, I can melt my face. And so I did. Except, it would not work how I want it to. I want it to essentially be a non-destructive method, where frame by frame, I could just, like, move and blur and push and pull stuff from the video to, like, just distort my face. It won't let me use that tool on video. I can only use it on, like, hand-drawn parts. So yeah, I instead did... It was close to 500 frames as well, by hand, distorting my face. Luckily, there was only about 300 frames that required some sort of, like, intervention by hand. But still, it was just, I think it took me about 3.5 hours or something. It's quite the process sometimes. But alas, I got the satisfaction of making my face absolutely, like, mortifying. One of the photo shots, because I took some screenshots of individual frames type deal. One of those shots was like, basically I had a long dog nose, and I was like, you know what? This is both classic and messed up. I appreciate it. And they were honestly pretty funny. I had like mega chin, I like made my face really tall. Had it so that my eyes would like drip down. Oh, so good. Alright, we got feet. Yeah, it's a pretty good foot. And remember, you don't touch the bird's feet, or else you will perish. It's very important to know this. I may have said before, and people might be like, oh, it's so cute, like they fell asleep or whatever type thing, and I'm like, no. if bird has fallen asleep and their feet are anywhere near me, or if not, like, their feet are on me, like, I am in mortal peril. I fear. I dare not move or disturb them. Because, like, if they're awake and, like, they accidentally, like, hit me with their feet or something, like, it'd be fine. But if they're asleep and they just, like, something hits their feet, death. And I have the power to have a conversation whilst bird doesn't realize I've been having a conversation with them. Because they kind of fall asleep and don't even know. So, yeah, I'm not taking my chances. Alright, wings. Honestly, I like having this extra bit of outline. I like the chunky, thick outline. Like, yeah, looks good. I can definitely add more tones into the wings or do it a little more flamey. I just don't want to have really difficult edges. Because then it's more cutting. I'm actually going to make this a singular shape, and then I will go back to trim that little bit. Let's do the buck again. Okay. It's free from the base paper. And I'll just trim this a little more. And then I can go back to this bit. Baha! Yeah. So, we're gonna begin by doing, like, the whole assembly thing. Cutting out bird. Wait. What way does bird wing go? Oh no. Okay, yeah. Bird flap, wing go like that. Yeah, we're gonna have the feet. I can do the feet underneath. Womp. You got the full-on foot cam now. But yeah, the whole idea is that we'll build the bird, basically. And that way, everyone will understand kind of how to build them. I'll do likely a more formal, this is how you build the bird type deal later. But yeah, this gives everyone an idea of how you'll actually construct them. Because there are options. As always, you can choose the direction for it. And then we're going to move on to essentially just designing some more paper people. It seems that today both body and computer do not want to communicate with me. Ah! Bum, 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 bum. No, bird. Please, bird. Be a good bird. Come on. Gotta trim the edge. Oh. And you spin it round. Alas. I had a really nice cheese sauce, and now my body's just like, how dare you? And I'm like, nah, this should have been fine. And then the delay, for the most part, with stream was... Honestly, all this stuff did not want to port over. I was just like, what? It would not update. And I was just like, how could you? You despise me, don't you? And so I had to sit and restart it a bunch of times, over and over again, to get things put in as I was making them. Baha! Yeah! And already I know that the tank shall be improved upon again. I gotta get a tank upgrade at some point. How else am I supposed to be able to move around that? And also, I want it to be a little more lava lamp. Like, why is it just the paper people factory production line that gets, like, the glitter glue? I want glitter glue in my tank. I don't think glitter tastes all that good. But it still would look pretty in the tank with me. I know the daunting tasks of completing all the different projects for Catmas are creeping up. However, we're getting there. I might not have the things to physically show, per se, or it all physically done, but we're getting there. We will now have a paper people factory fully operational. So that way we can just make some paper people whenever we want. As well as I've already done some fabric sample ordering. And it's not like it's not gonna be for clothing production stuff just yet. It's more so I need to research it, know what I want fabric wise for material uses, and then I can figure it out. The main thing is I'll probably get base t-shirt blanks in order to do like some screen printing, because I'll draft up a design as a vector sometime soon. The main thing is, NBs is coming up so fast that I need to figure out like uniforms for that, which means I gotta figure out shirts. And I think I'm looking for kind of like a polo shirt. And the place that I was going to do my shopping with type thing does not seem to have a polo shirt. And I was like, well, that's a problem. But slowly but surely, things are on their way. Once that felt gets here, goth rocks. All the way, all the goths. Much rocks. And I hope to, reasonably soon, go and get some little latch hook tools for crochet. Because I have, for so long, wanted to have like a little mossy carpet thing. And I was like, I have so much of the little rubber mats used to like line storage shelves and stuff, so nothing falls or slides. Okay. The bird is cut out. Good. Good. Yeah, I thought I could use that for like making a little carpet thing and just use all my yarns and loop it through. Yeah, no, it's not. The sizing is awful. I can't get anything to fit through it, so it can technically be used as a structure underneath. And I've got the shape now drafted, but yeah, it's not gonna work. So I gotta get some base mesh for it. Alright. There the paperway. Oh, actually. Wait. What? Alright. Let's put our subject on the table. Alright, now bird. Boom. Ba-bum bum bum. Don't worry, bird, we'll resuscitate you. We will bring you to life. Just as in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Alright. The bird is on the table. Oh, okay. Now, in order to bring the bird back to life... Oh, a little bit of paper scrap. I am going to A. Require pipe cleaners. Trim them to a smaller size. And B. I gotta get the little pokey thing. I like to use, like, just a little thing that's sharp that I can poke through the holes easier. Especially with thinner paper. It will tear if you don't use, like, a proper little jabby bit to poke your holes. So, let me get some pipe cleaners. Because I have, I think, the jabby thing of choice. Yeah, I'll use the little metal points of a little crochet hook. Alright, we got a jabby thing. We've got a swig of tea. Ding! Don't forget your screaming sugar. As I fail to drink tea. No! How have I managed this? I thought I'd broken the curse of spilling drinks on myself. I should have added a second bag of tea. Re-steeped as always. Alright. Now, in order to bring back the bird, we're gonna have to give it some energy too. Gotta raise the spirits. So, I'm gonna go and grab those little bits of supplies. Pretty much just the pipe cleaners. And when I get back, you better be ready to start singing and chanting and rambling some bird tunes. Because we all know birds respond to shiny things and musical numbers. So, we'll be right back. Get your fave little musics. Get your lyrics prepared. And we're all gonna sing it when we get back. Well, all the pipe cleaners have just fallen. Okay. We've got some pipe cleaners. Excellent. Alright. Let's give the bird a little bit of a chance here first. Bird, if you do not want me to sing Glob Go Gab Galab, you're gonna have to, give us some signs of life, okay? Now, you don't actually need a very long bit. I chose pipe cleaners because, despite seemingly being not a common thing necessarily to have nowadays, they're pretty accessible. And I would like to argue that pipe cleaners are very useful. They're rather handy. You might think, who aside from a kid would use pipe cleaners? I would. I know I'm the weird one. But I will tell you this. Pipe cleaners are so handy. They hold up my green screen. I kid you not. I was just like, we could get some paint and like do the wall green permanently. Or, for much, much less, like hundreds of dollars less, I could just get a really big green sheet and then just attach that to a structure that I can change out backdrops on. It was a much better idea, and a much more cost-effective one. So that's what I did. I got a green screen cloth sheet type thing, and then I just put some rivets in with a little punch, and then put the metal rivets on that. And then it was just like how do you get it to stay up without putting a bunch of holes in the wall? And to that I said, command strip broomstick holders. Now, the issue with that is those command strips, I don't know why. Like, I have command strips for smaller things that have way better grip. Like, seriously. Way better. On the other hand, for whatever reason, specifically the ones for holding up the broomsticks, because they come with specific ones for that, they're the worst. They have no grip or strength at all, pretty much. Like, it was awful, not tacky. So, yeah, I kinda had to give up on those a bit. But essentially, what we did is just, we used the hardware, and we kind of ignore the command strips. We just got them lined up in place with, like, a level, and then just took some nails or whatever and just sandwiched them to the wall so they can't really slide out. And it's just like a pole that goes across. I don't think I'm trying to remember if that's an actual, like, shower rod type pole that's extendable, or if it's in fact just like a wooden pole. Because I did have an oversized dowel and like some plumbing pipes that I had gotten to make stuff with, and I was like trying to use that before. That was the base premise. But honestly, after that, since I want it to be removable and I don't want to take the actual bar down often, I literally just took pipe cleaners and I just looped it through the rivets to attach it to the pole. And that's how the green screen stays up. It's just pipe cleaners. So yes, never underestimate your pipe cleaner friends. Yeah, and so I always just make like a little loop type thing. So basically you gotta get it through the holes, and you can kind of swirl it around, and I'm just like folding it for the most part. You gotta be a little careful on the end. If you got pliers, you could bend the end back. But you then got a joint. And it has a little hinge. And you can also adjust the joints a bit more with pipe cleaners than if you use like traditional rivets. Or like the little brass like rivets that you like just pop the ends out of. Because those are what paper dolls are traditionally made with for having those joints. I just like the pipe cleaners, and I have a lot of them, so it works. It makes it extra fluffy. Okay, this one was much longer than it needed to be. Alright. Do the feet go option A on top? So, like, wait, I can just put the foot on the other side. Option A on top, or option B underneath? I think it's gotta go underneath. Gotta, like, keep the feet away, or else you'll be defeated and attacked. It's only fair. But, I mean, both options will totally work. Because we could even make it like steppies. So it's like the bird's like walking. Yeah. I could have used blue pipe cleaners to match the color as well. This gives it a little more paper craft feel. But that is one of the other things, like with the little gold brass pieces that are normally used for the pins, you don't really get the color match. And whilst this one is in fact pink, like, you can get pipe cleaners in a bajillion different colors. Like, I got... The blue actually looks kind of good. Ooh. Okay, let's use... Oh no, I've already trimmed it. Where did... The pipe cleaners are attached to me. Oh dear. We could use blue for the bird's neck. Alright. Because that's the other thing. I realized that with the pipe cleaners, I can make bubbly necks. Now that's some next step paper engineering. Alright, paper. We got a limb through. And then we put the limb all the way through. Gotta give Bird a fighting chance to see if they will either mysteriously show up out of nowhere to prevent me from saying globgo gabgalab type rhymes, or at least to flop around and say, nope, we're good, leave me alone. You never know. Birds work in mysterious ways. And besides, I just have to get some little fun pranks in before, bird-themed holiday. Because I think tomorrow is going to end up being a bird-themed holiday. So I don't know what exactly will happen or what it will entail. Come on now, birdie birdie. Please be nice. Ha. Well, that's one thing. You can use like a bit of an awl that will make the hole a bit bigger, so it's not as difficult to get through. I did not. I only used the most minimal amount to make a hole through. Oh, the wire was put at the end of this one, I think. Alright. Foot. And then we do the back of the foot. Bum, bum, bum. Come on now. Oh. Ah. Aha. There we go. Perfect. Yee. Django Studios, get out of my head. Ah. I almost forgot the other secret ingredient. The green tape, which... Where did I lose the green tape to? How dare! Get back here. Get back! What? No. Oh, there it is. Haha! Now, this was the key to having the bobbly heads. I used just like some regular old painter's tape because it's less damaging to the paper. Plain and simple. A little less damaging. Now, is it gonna last for hundreds of years without damage? No, because it's painter's tape. And whilst you might think that's just because it'll lose stick or something, no, it's more so because it'll actually most likely degrade the paper ever so slightly. Paper is a lot more of a porous material than other things, so it's much more susceptible to damage over time. For example, people think, like, why aren't, like, a lot of artworks and stuff, especially, like, small drawing pieces or things like that, why aren't they framed? And the answer is, for the most part, especially with, like, professional artworks type thing, it's not simply a, you go to the dollar store and buy a frame. That would technically have a frame. The issue there is glare for glass. Is it UV protected? Because exposure to light will make things fade over time and damage things. You need to have it be entirely acid-free. And this is the big kicker. With anything paper and stuff like that, even photo prints, you need to have acid-free tape, acid-free environment, glues, everything. Because any bit of acid that's with the papers and other materials stuck in there type thing will essentially just eat the entire artwork. And it's not always necessarily like 100 years down the line type thing, like damage can be noticeable, like, within a decade or so. So especially for expensive works, and to have... Alright. Is this a good spot for the head? I think so. It's just not as bobbly. So I might actually... The magic of painter's tape. I can do this without destroying the thing. Yeah, I gotta make this much taller. Because this was the trick to making the first Yucan more scrunkly. Yeah, I just made it like a little boobly bop. So essentially, I pre-bend it to be a little ziggle-zag, and that made it more susceptible to wiggle-wag. At least that's what I found. Alright. Bird face. Gotta get you in place. Ooh, so I can actually do... Pop! Boom. Alright. What we're gonna do is put the tape on the back, and then we just drop the face in place. Very, very carefully. So, if I want the beak in front, probably gotta go somewhere like there. And I just kind of get one side and the other to attach just a little bit. Yeah. Alright. Bird face is attached. And here's the other thing where, if you do have cardstock, for either printing it out so it's like less fropply and makes the paper stronger, if you put cardstock on the back of this, like kind of give it a lining, you won't then have the shadow of the tape. Magical. Because like, even if I took this paper and just held it behind, Like, it's gonna make a difference, and this is still just a really thin paper. Whereas if I take, no, that's base paper. I move the cards. Ah, the worms. If I were to take a little worm, ah yes, the worm of like Venus emerging from the shell, except it's a worm sending off another worm that's becoming a butterfly. Just your everyday stuff, you know? Even if I were to take, because this is base yellow, even if I were to take that and put that behind it, like, it's already so much more coverage and strength, and this is still really lightweight. Like, it's not even a full-on cardstock, it's almost like a in-between step, or a low paperweight. Well, yes, we now have a bird. Bromp, bromp, bromp. Alright, bird. I think it's about time. Let me get you, Alright, let's get you centered. Bird, you're on the table. We need to bring you to life. You've got very little opportunity now, bird. I don't know if you're gonna make it in time. Seemingly not. Bird. I'm gonna glob go gab go glow for it. I might want to connect my headphones again though. Alright now. Bird, are you going to awaken? Or are you going to beholden the musicalness of the glob go gab go glab? I will give you 2. The count of 10. 1. You gonna move, bird? 2. You gonna move, bird? 3. What about now? I'm touching the feet. 4. I got your other foot. 5. Look. 6. 7. Ooh. It's not hot. Ho ho ho. 8. Boop. 9. No. 10. I'm the glob go glab go glab. Alright. At this point, I think we must accept bird does not like the glab go gab go glab. That one bit. They briefly tolerate it. That's it. I don't think they will ever sit through Stravinsky in the mysterious house with me. It's fine. Not everyone's prepared for that animation chaos. Honestly, bird looks really cute. Oh my gosh. Oh. Look at this. Alright, we got bird. I think Yucan is actually... Oh my gosh. Are you prepared for a giant? I'm flexing. Alright. Let's see this. Bird size comparison. Wow, the bird is... okay. I mean, almost height-wise, they're about the same height. Just a bird and a Yucan catfish creature worm thing. I don't know. Just chilling on a masonite board. This is what happens. You get bored on the board. And so you make a bird and a Yucan. It's interesting to see the color profiling of the phone. I'm using a phone right now for the other cam. But it's like, this looks so much closer to this than it actually is in the camera. This is actually really light. Womp. Look at those friends. They're the bestest of buds. Me and you and me. We're made of paper dancing about a scuba-dee. Oh yeah, and the other thing I'd done with the Yucan is I actually added this little hood on the back. So I just made an extra piece that I taped on with a little hinge. But yeah, they're so fun. So all the bases that I've made now are essentially just like, aside from Bird being an entirely different little beast, they're all based on like the sort of scaling of the Yucan. I mean, the hair won't always be as like blomp, but all the little like body proportion bits is the same thing for the Yucan as all the other bases I've made. And then Bird was just a special doodly bump. Yeah, because actually, here, I can do a little comparison of this one versus the Crony one. Yeah, because I think I actually made Crony's head smaller, just because the hair is not as big. Yeah. And then this was the original color profile. So, this is not accurate to color. This was in a digital color profile. So essentially, the drawings can be made digitally as well. So you could have like a little digital paper bean, wobble bobble. And then I just did a recolor touch-up again and printed it out. And so this is now more accurate to what the colors should have been when printed. Because the digital one had like the really nice light purple hair. And yeah. I kept the little detailing pretty simple on this. So if you actually look at the coat here, you'll see just like little light fabric texturing for the floof. The floof of the current floof. Look at this floof! Ugh! Ow! Yeah. So, it is based off of this floof, which is... what? Oh, I have long sleeves on, I didn't realize. So, it's actually more blue here than here, but it's fun, it's more saturated. And yeah, so I kept this pattern actually pretty limited in detailing, just cause, again, home printers only have so much printing power. But honestly, some of the little things on Crony's patterns actually turn out really nice. Like, this little ear. Look at the ear. Yeah. So it actually did pick up some of the sparkle texture, even though it's pretty small. And even like the little shading in the hair. Like, that transition's not half bad. And the the nice little skeletal bits. It's actually kind of like a layer of transparency swirled on top. And it did a nice job kind of overlaying and blending those colors. And even just like these creases and folds here. Good sort of transitional blends that I wasn't expecting the printer to actually preserve, so... pretty basic home printer capabilities. Approved for fun crafts. Not for big prints, though. Alright, so Bird is like less bobbly. Slightly bobbly, but not to the bobble level I would like. So if you want a big bobbly boop... oh, I actually hinged this one backwards. Okay. So I actually made the little like lightning bolt shape go back and then forward to hold the face forward. Interesting. Now this one, especially since it's bigger and it's got more weight, true bobblehead. Bobble baby, bobble baby, bobble baby, bobble. Yeah, because the bird's is sideways, so what if I take the bend... oh, Bird, I'm sorry. What? Okay, okay, Bird. Will you accept the bobble now? You're a bird! You're supposed to bobble! How could you? What have you done? Okay, it's kind of... It's an improvement. An improvement, to say the least. Little angry menace. Okay. Well, I think for the most part the bird is looking a little more lively. How lively? Yet to be proven. But they're definitely more lively than before. So that's something. Yep. Birds are sometimes like that. You think, oh, they're just so relaxed and chill. And that's when they'll get you. You know they'll get you. That's what birds are like. But still, I think, Bird is adorable, of course. But I think the Yucan just being so much menacingly tall is just like, yes. Yeah, look at that. Menacing. I think the Yucan gets the win for Gremlin. Bird has the Gremlin energy, but Yucan's just like a big cutie. And so them being a giant in terms of this paper miniature scale makes it so much more Gremlin mode. Yeah, that's right, Bird. I got you. I got you beat. Nuh-uh. I so do. Not a bird in your sleep. 'Cause the bird will get you. Defeats. I will not taste defeats. I will never. I have the floof power. And magical worms on my side. Yeah! Blah. No. I have the bird power. And I will bird my way to victory. Really? Really? You hearing this? You think birds gonna bird their way to victory? Oh my gosh. Look at the splits! I'm a kung fu ninja at this point. You cannot compete. I can. What do you mean? But you can. But I can. What? No! I am you can! Ooh. Well, I think I've just proven my point. No. Never. What do you mean no? What do you mean never? Just never. Alas. The bird is now resting. And then there's Craven. They're in bed. They're just resting. Peacefully. It's all good. Nothing's going on. Don't worry about it. I didn't use my ninja moves on them. Nothing happened. You didn't see anything, okay? Okay? Alright. I'm gonna slink away now. I'll just be peering over here. Ominously. Menacing. It's honestly pretty menacing. Well, that could have gone better. If only I had practiced my bird judo chops. Back in my heyday, I used to be a really great fighting bird. I could win pretty much any argument by being Devil's advocate. Just taking the mick right out of it. You think, no, who's gonna have this obscure piece of lore? Craven would. And Craven would pop off and fight you over it. But then, I got absorbed in fanfiction. Spent too long writing fan fiction, and so I could not keep up my battles of knowing obscure information to win random arguments. I slacked off. I'm sorry. It's okay, Bird. It's okay. Alas, one day soon, I will be back to return in a bird of glory. And then they'll know, and they'll face my wrath. They will have to accept and deal with defeats. Please, just remember, Bird, it's okay. You don't have to be the mightiest of beak builders. Sometimes it's just about defeat and what you do with defeat. Okay, so that's how you bird, you know? Birds can do that. Oh boy. I don't know how to explain that one. It just sometimes happens. Alright. Papers to the side. Bump. And now, it's time to bring on the digipapers. Paper Mons, gotta catch 'em all. Boom, boom. Who's that paper man? I don't know. But you can paper find out. Alright, let me check this. Doop, boop, boop. Bump. Bump. Okay. We're good. Sorry about that. Had to make sure it was still connected properly. Oh my gosh. How many layers? I will suffer because I'd rather be a toasty gremlin than a cold one right now. Alright. Let us remove the things I refuse to label because I got so delayed. Okay. So we have a bean. And we're gonna stick with just purple as the reference thing for now. Because that'll just, like, make it easier. It's non-color palette specific. So, I think it's time we bring on some gremlins. And by that, I mean, we pick some, like, hairstyles or something. Because I don't have a specific direction for this. Other than, let's just start making a design. If you've got a burning design for a paper person that you want made, then please, yipple and yap. I am so disappointed in you, Bird. You have truly tasted defeat. I know you don't even understand why, but I did so much work to try and stall in hopes that you would just magically show up and interrupt me. I had you attack the camera and everything. You are a mighty force to reckon with, but you just aren't as big as the Yucan out of paper. And so you tasted defeat. Bum bum bum. I have no idea what's going on with this hairstyle. But maybe next time, Bird. Maybe next time you will have what it takes to beat me. Dum dum. Alright. I really don't know what this hairstyle's gonna become. It's kind of froofy, and I like that. I feel like it's halfway between the goth rock and also just like being like a little bob type thing with messy hair. Oh, I messed up this line. Bump, bump, bump. Okay, I don't mind that. That's kind of fun. Aww. Hey, look. Sometimes birds are just slow to come to life. Alright, let's... Oh. That was not what I was trying to do. I was trying to do this. What? Her? Oh. It just was not letting me fill in the hair for some reason. Alright. We've got some hair. I'm doing my best to not make the most absurd fashion choices. But it's really difficult sometimes. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Oh, what was the name of the skater girl from Big Hero 6? Wait, no, I'm gonna go, like, red. I don't know why, but for some reason, Brain has said, why not do a speed suit? Which is basically just like a giant coverall or coveys. But there's not much difference between like a speed suit and coveralls or coveys. And I'm pretty sure both would be horribly like... maybe it was Naomi. I'm pretty sure both would be like horribly oversized for ladies. Because that is the battle of coveys. It's like, you want to be cool in one of the clubs, so you get coveralls, and then you realize, oh dear, they will not fit. Because it either fits not well in one area, or worse in another. There is no winning with coveralls. You just gotta be a lad. Okay. This is kind of a struggle right now. Alright, let's do this way. Yeah, there we go. Because part of it is I'm using a monoline, so that is a struggle line. Oh yeah! Wait. Her name really was Go-Go Tamago? Ah. Really? For some reason I thought I forgot the name of the other girl. But I thought the girl with glasses was like... I don't know why. Egg-themed superpower where they threw like Gudetama type egg things or something. Which was not the case. She had like little potions or something rather. But yeah, my brain has just like died. I didn't realize their last name was Tamago. Alright, let's do this. Oh. Ah, I didn't mean to do that last line. Okay, I kind of like this look so far. Oh. I might have jump scared everyone with that. My apologies. I forgot. I told it to reference the other layer. And I was just like, it's fine. Ooh, yeah, I love the red shirt. It's kind of fire. I do kind of remember her name being like Go-Go. But still, I'm just like, man. I just feel like it was a goofy name. Alright, I'm gonna do red outline. But I'll probably do like black bottoms. I think the contrast would be really cool. It's giving a little bit of punk vibes. And I'm gonna have to find the legs, so... Blump, blump, blump. Okay, I found legs. Oh dear. I messed up the line so bad. Ooh. I mean, that kinda works. Oh, honey lemon. At this point, are they all food themed? I really don't remember the characters and stuff from Big Hero 6 that much. Let's do a little bit more gray. Boom. I'm just gonna fill in that a little bit. Alright, we got a leg. And I have a duplicate leg. Oh, leg. Please go be friends with the leg. Be friends with the other leg friend. And I have it ordered wrong. Alright. I corrected the order. Don't bring back flashbacks to Fred is the best Scooby-Doo character. No if and or buts. This is the truth. Blessed be Jello-pocalypse. In our household, Jello-pocalypse is a household event. A household name, even. Whenever someone new joins the crew, you gotta make them... No, not again! Yes, again. You know what's gonna happen? We're gonna have someone new join the crew, and then we're gonna watch through all the different Zillow streams again. And then we'll watch a bunch of... Fred is a character of Big Hero 6. Yes. But he's also from Scooby-Doo! Alright. Got the pants kind of frumpy. I know you probably don't see some of the finer detail work I'm doing right now, but it's just little bits along the edge of the outline that I'm correcting. So don't worry about it. It's just it's a music. You gotta like just twirly whirly hurly gurly. Scoobert doobert. Oh no, I combined them. Okay, well. I just realized I gotta do this now. Boom. Let me do the wise move and just make one leg perfect. Listen, I know everyone makes fun of Scrappy-Doo, but it's... I didn't understand it myself, but seemingly there was an agenda. Someone just really didn't like Scrappy-Doo, and so they made sure Scrappy-Doo don't come back. Because back in the old days, Scrappy was not really disliked that much. He was just like, meh. He was like an annoying character, but not the bane of my existence type character. Because I've seen some of the old Scooby-Doo, and it was like, it was not that bad. And when I told my mom that Scrappy-Doo was just kind of like universally disliked, seemingly, she was like, what do you mean? I love Scrappy. He's my favorite character or something. I'm like, what do you... Heh? Sometimes you just gotta learn and be like, you know what? It's fine. I didn't mean to fill that in. My apologies. Copy and paste fine. Yeah. Oh, yep. Scrappy-Doo, everyone. He was a character. Alright, bow, bow, bow. Okay. Headphones, wakey wakey. Eggs and bakey. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, they definitely just wanted to ruin his reputation at Spooky Island for sure. Oh, so I actually can probably, like, slim out the pant line. Or if I go... Group-a-doop-doop. Group the pants! And then... Oh, I made an error in how I grouped the pants. Pants A, go with pant leg A. Pant leg B, go with pant leg B. Yeah, because then we can, like, boom. Perfection. Yeah, they did make Scrappy into a joke. But it's okay. We're allowed to have our fun, silly, nonsense characters and just have a dance party for them. They are truly just named after foods. I'm calling it at this point. I didn't even realize one of the characters was named Wasabi. Here are your food-themed superheroes. Spaghetti Monster. Pasta Ravioli. Macaroni Pony. And, bread and butter. There we go. New classic crew. What? I mean, true. I mean, power to Shaggy, it's true. I gotta be honest, the one alien movie that Scooby-Doo had type thing, I loved that movie to bits. I didn't even remember there was a guy that had laser blades in his arms, so that's a something. Alright. Alright, I think we got the arm sleeves. Bump. There was more. It's been so long since I've seen Big Hero 6. You gotta give me some slack, people. Alright. I kinda like the floof of the hair. We need a face. Okay, now this is gonna sound even dumber. Was there a second Big Hero 6 movie? Because I don't remember any of this. I want to make button eyes, actually. Oh! Oh no! Oh, they made a TV show. Okay. I feel like you accidentally used your powers to cause fireworks. What on earth command was that even? I figured out what it is! Okay, I figured out why that happened. I mean, at least it proves that they had a setting messed up again. But hey! That's what I was going to reserve for when we finish the paper person. I was going to reserve the lights, glitters, sparkles, and the glam. And now, it's kind of been taken. But that's okay. Boom. I know it looks a little spooky right now, but it's gonna be just fine. Let's go a little darker for the edge. Yeah, because I'm gonna make the eyes buttons. I mean, it's good to know that they made a Big Hero 6 TV show, possibly. Because I really liked the movie. I actually went and got some... They had moved some of it to, like, manga adaptations type thing. And I think I actually own 2 of them at least. They were just so slow to release. That's the one thing I struggle with about book collecting. If they're new and coming out, they're really slow to release. And so it's like, you then kind of forget, because it's been so long since you waited for the next one to come out, that you don't get the next one, and then you're like, well, them's the breaks. And then you realize you're like several years behind, and you're like, oops. Yeah, it was a good emotion movie. Boop, 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 boop. Alright, we got some button to the eyes. I'm gonna grab that red and bring it up a bunch brighter. And add a little shine to it. And I'm actually... Ah! Did I delete an old command? What? Man, I'm getting jump scared by my own commands and stuff. Yeah, the shirt is kind of serving. Agreeable. Okay, so this is the highlight I want now. Bump, bump, bump. Warm up the button eyes. I also forgot to say, Unreal 2 is like out now, and I'm so excited. It has so many looking like chaos added to it, and it was already chaos before. Yeah, like I know what you mean, Bird. I don't know if it's because we should be able to see it if something is sent that caused it. So either it's mistaking a word for a trigger, or it's like been attacked by the the auto mod thing, so it didn't even show up for us to deal with because it hit something else filter wise. Yeah, I'm so excited for Unreal 2. And get this, I read the like specs for hardware. It's Mac compatible for Intel and M1 equivalent chips. So, or processors. Which means your clunker might just work. This is always the battle. I want the mobility of like being able to use my laptop and stuff for the time being, but a lot of the games will not work on my Mac. So I resort to using my Switch. And Bird's in a similar situation where it likes to explode on their computer. I know, I already called Basil. Basil's the one who told me. Basil's just like, you know that like it came out like today or the other day type thing. I was like, what? No. And then I already went and bought it, so I'm like, okay, thanks Basil. That was all I needed to know. It exists, I want, I get. Oh, I really like the button eyes. Now it's kind of giving a little bit of Coraline vibes, but you know what? I dig it. I'm gonna take the darker color, and I'm gonna go back to the mono line I was using earlier to make like a little like Stitch mouth. Boop. And then overlocking one. Boop. Wait, no, not as. Boop. Yeah. Listen, I don't want to speak of the betrayal of computers right now, because part of today's delay has been literally just, it was like, I'm not gonna update the stuff between different things, so I just had to restart it 1,000,001 times to get it to like update, and I was like, this should not be the case, my dude. It was just like, you're gonna have to deal with it. it. And I'm like, why? And even then, it's like, the fact that I can even summon the basil train. Let me bring back the basil train. Basil train. Yes! I made Basil into a train. And then I am the train conductor. I've only just hit the first steps in making it work. But it's just like, dear God, I'm so ready. All aboard. Goodbye, Basil train. Boop. I genuinely could not hit buttons. Oh my goodness. It's all good. It's more so just a case of like, I need to get the stuff in to set up the thing, but it won't let me, so. It was done. Just not efficiently. Basil would love to be a train. You know what? I don't think so. I'm honestly gonna disagree. And it's not even because he wouldn't enjoy being a train. It's simply because I have tormented him too much with Super Cooper's, like, Make Me Thomas song, I think. I'm done being human. I wanna be a train. Not just any train. A train with a brain. Roll me round the tracks, metal wheels for arms. Copy paste my face to a steel boxcar. Make me Thomas. It should not be such a bop, but it is, and I'm all for it. People think that I don't listen to truly Mimi music. They think, how could you truly listen to that? There's a reason certain songs had to be taken off Craven's playlist. I would just go popping off and like shout lines from them. And so, never again will they be on the playlist. Because it's still an earworm for them to this day. No memories of the horrors of being a train. Listen, that tank engine deserved better. Why did they bury him in the mines? It was so cruel. I remembered having that whole conversation back in high school about the tank engine that they just like abandoned in the mines and then like collapsed the mine on top of them intentionally. And it was like actually really upsetting. And then like years later, it came back and I was just like, oh my gosh. That poor train. Okay, I went way too detail-oriented here, but... It's cute, and that's what matters. It's cute as a button, and it's made of buttons. Maybe I should do like a little like boop. Oh, wrong line. A little boop, boop, nose. Yeah! Boop, boop, nose. It wasn't Thomas, it was a different train. They told him he was a bad train and abandoned him in the mines. It was so mean. Alright, let's make the shirt sleigh. Oh, I have it super small right now. Okay. Snowplow that could not be destroyed and caused many accidents, possibly casualties attempting to destroy it. Snowplows are a beast, though. Like, you duck and cover, you stay out of their way, you don't even look at Snowplow, they just go. And then turn off the replicate type thing. I don't want it to go all the way with that. Okay, well, I was just trying to add some textural lines and stuff to it, and it's just like, it's all or nothing. How dare you, shirts? How dare. Although I must say, I'm currently upset with the modern state of trains. Thomas the Tank Engine sets were like redone, and they're not as good, and I'm disappointed. Not surprised, just disappointed. Ah, it's too bright. Okay, gotta make it smaller. Boop. And then I can fan it out. And go boop. Too small again. Bring it back a bit. But yeah, I'm excited to finally be able to make paper people for peoples. Stand with the paper peeps? No, not peeps. I just remembered the snack and I'm upset. No peeps. I mean, no likey peeps. The curse of the earworms continue. They always get you. They will find a way. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow, meow. Ah! Blah, 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 blah. Da, 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 da. I don't think I've ever eaten Peeps in my life. And I also don't think I would like Peeps, because it is taking me years to learn to actually enjoy eating just like a marshmallow on its own. So I don't think Peeps would be it for me. You know my stance on candy corn. I like candy corn. I was denied it. I was denied candy corn as a child. I never ate candy corn as a kid, and then like randomly at Halloween once, I got candy corn, and it's basically just sugar, and I was like, man, this is nice. I still like candy corn, okay? It's a guilty pleasure. Let me have this. Oh, Peeps aren't marshmallow. Okay. They're so much worse. I mean, this is what happens sometimes. Just expect the unexpected. It's like eating banana bread. I walked up and I thought I saw a banana loaf or something today. And then it turns out it was very much not a banana loaf, it was a meatloaf. And I was like, oh, that explains why it looks so strange. Oh. Yeah, in small doses it's fine. Candy corns can be delicious in small amounts, if it's your kind of thing. Ooh, I should put a dramatic cool button thing in black on here. Oh my gosh. Wait, let's make the button dramatic. Oh. Oh wait, I can turn on the drawing assist. Haha! Duplicate my line work. Yeah, that's a cool button now. Resist the urge to make it into an eyeball. Resist the urge. See, that's a cool button, and it's not Yet an eyeball. The temptation is there. Pumpkin loaf is a great loaf. Oh my gosh. Mm. Blum blum. Blum 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 blum. Yeah, I will have to eyeball up some cufflinks. I had attempted to use pins to make the cufflinks, but alas, they were not the winning ticket. You have to use cufflinks to make cufflinks, you know? Oh, yeah, that's the spirit. Alright. I just need to use a bit of a darker red to add that final touch of shadows. It just needs that oomph. Bit of oomph. It's all about local values. Because in all honesty, this is not actually that drastically dark of a red, but depending on where I place this, it looks super dark or not very dark. And that's the power of local value. Remember to learn your art wizardry and magic skills from art things. Use your brain noggin with your eyeball noggin. And then you might not end up in Okanagan, but you will have more knowledge inside of your noggin. Yeah, and I'm just gonna pull this out a little more. Just pull that value out. Alright, it's slaying pretty good. I will add highlights at the end. The sleeves are in drastic need of some shading. Not too much shading, just a bit enough. Alright. Bump. Hide the body. Let me group the body so it's easier to hide in future. Alright. Sleeve number 1. We're gonna go for the speed shadows. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, and I have to add the inside too. Alright, let me resolve this interior issue right now. There's a little section I have to fill in before I lock down the layer. Bum, 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 bum. Alpha lock, boom. And I'm just gonna do the same to the other side real quick, because it'll make the entire rest of the process that little smidgen easier. Speedrun arm shadows. Yeah, the sleeve did not need as much wrinklage on it. I just thought it gave it a little more texture. And I'm gonna make it a little bit stronger of a line to add some ridges at the top. There we go. And then just expand it a little more. Soften that transition. And same on the other side. You put your base shadows in, you add some softening to that, and then you have a bit of some shadows on the arm. And maybe that's good enough. Yeah. It's the point across type thing. I'm gonna pull a little bit of the base red back in here. Yeah. And that's all I needed. Okay, let me actually awaken the underlayers. There we go. Boom. Yeah, it's looking jazzy. Main struggle is going to be the pants. Dirty pants. That was not the intended outcome. Well, it's now terrifying and slightly cursed. Think about it, it's all good. Nothing happened. Don't even. It's fine. I am working on the wrong leg. I was like, wow, it really doesn't show up much. But you gotta work on the correct leg for it to show up. Rump dump dump. And if I take this actual red again, minimize it, we got some red glow to the pant. That was a little too drastic. Well, actually, yeah, that kind of works. I'm gonna pull it a little more at the bottom here. But that looks like a cool pant texture. Cliffhanger. Hanging from a cliff. That's why he's called Cliffhanger. Indeed, that is a good cliffhanger, Bert. Can cliffhanger beat a cliff bar? These are the real questions. Who wins in that fight? The granola bar or the man on the cliffside? Or would he be better off if he had a battle against the Snicker bar? But then again, if he hasn't had his Snickers, then is he really him? But what about Grandma's Snickerdoodles? These are all important questions. Questions I know not the answer to. But that's what happens sometimes. So you gotta prepare. I feel like I might have been slightly out of place that entire time. One day the microphones will sync up. And they'll be accurate so I can understand what on earth they're actually trying to communicate. Considering Cliffhanger managed to hang from a cliff for little years without falling, I'd say he beats Granola Bar. Alright, fair. I'll give him that, to his credit at least. Yeah, that one line is just a little too bright. There we go. And I just have to make a few smaller highlight ones, because the other one was less. Yeah, there we go. The pants look rockin'. Pretty happy with that. The sleeves could use some more midtones, for sure. So, let me grab those midtones, just to, like, break it up a little, because it's, I worked on the wrong sleeve again. It was just a little too one tone there. So with the shirt placement, how it could be at times, it just wasn't hitting the mark. There we go. That's groovy. And now, the hair. I'm going to precautiously duplicate the hair, just because hair is one of the things I like to fuss over more. So I fear making it not fantabulous. Alright, we're gonna add in some fun coloring. What if I used like a flame brush on the hair? Oh. Okay. Well, I might just, go flame. I might just go flame with the hair. Because why not? If I could go flame, then why would I not go flame hair? Yeah. Okay, I do have to match up flame hair with the edge of the hair. That could be useful. Honestly, it looks killer. I think as is, this is probably the digital color profile. But still, like, even if I had to do some recolor touch-ups, this would look so sick. Okay, so this part did go too far. I gotta, like, rein it in a bit. Boom. Pull this up. Voop. And I can add flame tips. It's truly flame-tipped hair. Or is it flame-dipped? Oh, this is so cute. Oh. I honestly love it. It's so adorbs. Look at the little flame hair. Ah, yes, sees demonic creature type thing. Look at how cute it is. It seems very friendly. Most people run away. Not to me. Okay, I do have to pull a little bit through this section just to break it up some more. And then I will add in some more shading. But it is fun. Alrighty. Honestly, it looks really fun. Oh. Alright, purple. Make it a little darker purple. Okay, that was way too big. Alright, this is a little better. But yeah, I can't use this texture for it, or else it's just gonna blend right in. So, let me grab Floof Power. Okay, so now it's too small. Now it's just got that little bit of texture in it. Yeah, there we go. No extra fancy layers to make it a little more and stuff. Keep it simple. Keep it flowy. And flameful. It'll be very flunderbar instead of just wonderbar. Oh yeah. We're getting there. And you could even add googly eyes on top if you wanted to. Yay! Alright, we got some fun hair. I'm pretty happy with that. They can be a purple vampire gremlin. I'll just add... If I grab the other brush again... Boop, boop, boop. I'll just add a little more, like, shadow for... here. Just because it needs a little extra definition. Yeah, and then I think bump. Yeah, that'll totally work. I forgot shoes! Oh my gosh! It's never complete without the feet. You need shoes, sir. And for shoes, we're gonna give you bootsies. Okay, not heel enough. do like this. Boom. Boom. Alright, so this is gonna be an underneath shoe based on the pant leg shape, probably. I'm gonna change that angle. Boom. That's looking pretty good. And now we just bring in some highlights. Okay, that's gonna be way too big. Alright. Then we bring in the lights. Pew. Oh, that's way too much to the side. Boom. Jazzy. Perfect. One booty. And a two booty. Alright. Maybe just one last decorative bit. I think we need to bring the black back in somehow. So... okay, this is gonna look perhaps terrifying, but let me just combine all the parts that go on the head, and then boop. Bippity boppity boop. Alright. I'm now going to go to this layer and add some finishing touches. Boom. Whoop. It just needs a little necklace piece. Because there's not a proper neck spot on this design, I don't think a choker is super simple to do. I'd have to kind of like build it in weirdly, so I just went with this. And we will alpha lock that. Grab our shiny color bits. And we will go and add some highlight. And then we make it smaller, and we go in the middle with some highlight again. Little bits on the top. And then pick more of a mid-tone to add to the bottom in really small bits. Because as much as we want to just put the dark colors in the shadows, the answer is shadows don't work like that. There's an umbra and penumbra, and it's where you'll get a little dark patch before the brightest and a little light patch before the darkest. Because it's reflected light. And I'm gonna grab that bright color again and do one last sort of line through in a way. Just to give it that extra bit of it's kind of shiny. Too much. Alright. One. There we go. And unfortunately it doesn't show up quite as well, I think, on the monitor, but it's there. It's all shiny in there. Yeah, there we go. Alrighty. I believe we now have another paper person. Stretch right. Woohoo! Further ado. Okay, it's not gonna hear me if I do that. Without further ado, if I turn this back on, is it gonna do the thing? We now have a papery person. So, you have now beholden the demonstrations to show off the building process for the paper peoples, as well as seen the makings of a paper peoples. Excellent. And now, I will not leave you simply hanging with goodbye pipe cleaners with just that. No, no. With a falling asleep of my headphones. And a wave of some shiny, shiny cards. I can properly show you up close. Shinies. Shinies. Do do ba do. I told you it was shiny. And it stares at you. That's right, rainbow holographic iridescent greatness. Yeah, I tried to use these as cufflinks. But pin back. They are nice pins though. Shiny. And then we have the little PFP stickers for packaging. But most importantly, shinies. Whoop. Whoop. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I am so happy with the lenticulars. I've previously made a lenticular by hand before, and it was an absolute pain. It was a struggle, I tell you. But to be able to have this, like, extreme color transition, oh, it's so nice. Yeah, it's kind of haunted at times, too. But, like, these are great. We got the corporeal and digital beans. But yeah, I'm literally obsessed with the cards. So, with this already being the start of, like, essentially the first batch of things, merch-wise this year, I'm so excited! Because I just want to, like, see what this would be like, and it turned out phenomenal. So, I'm very excited to continue. More bits and bobs. Figure out the t-shirts soon. And everything else. As we know, MB's is gonna be food-themed and cute beans. Why wouldn't it? So, without further ado, I will put my paper face back on. We all know what we really want, don't we? Obviously, we wanted the paper person. But of course, leave the tank behind. The paper person is what we want. Isn't that right? Yup. Well, paper people, signing off for now. There's Minecrafting to mine. Don't forget to feed your snow friend. Remember. Exclamation, feed. It's not just my pet, chat. It's your pet too. It's our pet. So, I hope you're ready to have more visits to the Paper People Factory, where we can finally make for everyone some more paper peoples. Have a good time, and I will go suffer in the mines of craft. Bye! Whoop! Thanks for joining! Remember to get your goofy socks on.